Ready to take your favorite WagerTalk handicappers wherever you travel this football season? The WagerTalk TV app is now live for phones, tablets, smart TVs, and streaming platforms. Tune into your favorite shows like WagerTalk Today, Bet on It, and the Opening Line Report. Plus, browse through our extensive library of sports betting tips. Create your personal playlist of betting tip videos to help you prepare for the upcoming season, and set notifications to alert you when new content is added. Download the app for Apple, Android, Amazon, and Roku devices by searching for WagerTalk TV, or scan the QR code on your screen to join the winning conversation today.
Hey guys, welcome in on a very happy Thursday to you now as here we are, the 26th of January. That is right, almost one month in the books here, but plenty of NBA action to go over. Great card here tonight. In fact, we're going to break down a few of these games for you, see if we can find a couple of edges. And we're going to do it with a few familiar faces, maybe a new face here as a first-timer to the NBA tip-off show, but we do have, of course, Marco D'Angelo in the house, ready to roll, as is our good friend, the UCapper over at sportsmemo.com, Ronald Kabang. And for the first time here on the NBA tip-off show, we welcome in Dwayne Bryant from WagerTalk.com. Gentlemen, welcome in here. And Marco, something tells me you might have, I don't know, maybe a basketball play, NBA, Kyle, something in the future that you're going to win anyway. So you don't lose much these days, brother. What's going on?
Joe, when you play baseball, did you go up to the pitcher that was pitching a no-hitter and ask him, hey, man, you're really dealing it, you know? You don't mention it, okay?
That's some
We're on a
curveball.
9-game winning streak. Just be quiet, let it go, and let me continue my streak, will you? Oh. Thanks.
So
how are you today,
does
Joe?
that mean that you have you got to scream it from the rooftops, Marco? If it ain't broke, don't fix it, my man. You know this. What you got to have something tonight on the hardwood, don't you?
I do, Joe. We've got a 4% play over at WagerTalk up now, and I'll probably add a couple more plays tonight. It's been a fun week. We've had back-to-back 3-0 sweeps, so you add that up, we're 9-0 this week and going for number 10 tonight.
You don't give out the number, Marco. What is wrong with you, man? You just let it go. Keep it on the jet. Ridiculous over there. WagerTalk.com. Visit Marco here tonight. Dwayne Bryant, welcome in, brother. Happy Thursday to you. Tell the fine men and women watching us here tonight what you have up over at WagerTalk.com tonight.
I do have one best bet in the NBA. I do have also a best bet in college basketball. That's where I've been making my money lately. I do have a 5% NFL play up for Sunday. I didn't bet any of the divisional round games, so I'm ready to go for this one. My last NFL bet was 2 weeks ago when I cashed a 5%er on Dallas over Tampa Bay. So I sat back and watched last weekend, and I'm ready to go this weekend.
Remember those days? Just used to be able to kick back, relax, and just watch a game. Nope, no more. It doesn't happen, Ronald Kabang. It does not happen, my man. NBA, for you tonight, something tells me you got your eye on maybe one or two of these games here.
Yeah, I got my eye on a couple games. It is an ugly slate. I was talking to Marco right before the show. It's a really ugly slate. You can see it just by looking at the lines that we see available, but I do have one college basketball play up available so far on the site. I'll probably add one or two of the NBA games today after the show here, but really just waiting on some of the injury reports. That's one of the things that we have to be aware of lately, especially in the NBA here. Some of these injuries are coming out 30 minutes before their game, so we'll see how it goes today.
Oh, shocker. You mean like the lines go crazy and all of a sudden somebody stubs their toe and they're not in? Ridiculous. Love the NBA. All right, let's check it out, guys. We start as we always do with our contrarian play of the day. We check in with the contrarian gods to see exactly a game they might have their eye on tonight. And, well, of course they are. It's going to be the Charlotte Hornets. Literally nobody in this world wants to ever bet the Charlotte Hornets, but here they are, the contrarian gods, Marco, looking to back the Hornets at home, taking on those Chicago Bulls. Now, last I saw, there was, let's see, Rozier was probably, the question was, LaMelo going? Is Gordon Hayward going? Both are questionable. Certainly both of them would help Charlotte, or at least one of them would help Charlotte. But either way, are you in agreement with the contrarian gods taking the points with the home dog?
Yeah, I am in agreement. And I don't know if the contrarian gods are betting Charlotte plus the 6, or they're just betting against Chicago laying 6 on the road, because this is a team that I'm not running to the window to bet laying points on the road. Yes, they've won 3 of their last 4 games, but 3 of those games were at home. Then they go out on the road to Indiana, another team that can't get out of their own way. And they were minus 1.5 in that one, and they lose that one 116-110. Now, normally, Joe, Charlotte's returning home from a road trip, and I normally would want to fade a team in that first game, because so often people look for them to bounce back at home. Maybe they're a favorite at home. That's not the case here. This team is returning home, but they're an underdog simply because they have not been playing well. They're just 3-10 in their last 13 games. 8 of the last 10 games have been on the road. So I'm going to go ahead and give Charlotte the nod here, and do have a little angle on them. Charlotte's 25-12 against the spread at home if they've lost 2 of their last 3 games over the last 3 seasons. So I think we're getting a little bit of an inflated number due to Charlotte's recent woes and the question marks player-wise that you mentioned at the top of the show. Gives us some value with Charlotte. I'm going to go ahead and take them plus the points. I've got this as a 1 to 3 point game either way. So if I'm getting 6, you know which way I'm going. I'm taking a dog.
Amen. I mean, Charlotte, listen, you said it, Ronald, right? Ugly as ass, this card here tonight. And it starts up at the top because, but here's the deal, right? If LaMelo does, if one of those 2 goes, the number's probably not going to be 6 by the time tip-off goes. So any value here with backing Charlotte for you tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna put my money on it, but that would be the only way that I go here. Some of the things that I was looking at, actually, Marco touched on one of those games, but as road favorites, on the road in general, the Bulls have been struggling there. But more specifically, if we look at them on the road following a loss, they're only 2-4 straight up and against the spread in that spot. They're only averaging 106.7 points in those games. If we look at them as road favorites versus conference opponents, they haven't won a game in that spot either. 0-2 straight up, 0-2 against the spread. That does include that game against the Pacers, 110-116 as a 1.5 favorites there. They also lost outright to the Wizards in that spot as well. So I don't know. To me, I would probably look towards the Hornets, but for the most part, I do have a nice angle on the under that I'll be talking about later on today.
All right, well, there you go. Reluctantly, he agreed, Dwayne. I mean, the contrarian gods are great at playing teams nobody ever wants to play here. Are you willing to back and take the 6 points to home dog in this one?
I'm not betting them with my money. Maybe with Marco's money, but not with mine. So, I mean, I am leaning that way here since I have to pick a side here. And basically, you know, the Bulls are off a loss in Indiana. That kicked off a 3-game trip. The Bulls actually shot a better percentage in that game. So I went to the SDQL database, looked it up. And, you know, this season, the Bulls are 1-8 straight up and against the spread when they are off a loss in a game where they shot the better percentage. And they lost those games by an average of 11.2 points per game. The other thing for the Bulls here, again, road favorites, they're not getting my money. Not only have they not covered as a road favorite, they haven't even won a game straight up as a road favorite. They're 0-5. They've lost by 8.4 points per game. So, you know, slice it however you want. Charlotte is Charlotte. But I will say this. They're 4-1 straight up and against the spread this season when they're off a loss by 20 or more, and that includes 3 straight wins since December. So if I gotta, I'll take Charlotte plus the 6 here.
Yeah, that was some ugly ass against Phoenix, no doubt about that. But they are home, and reinforcements could be on the way. And hell, sounds like the wrong damn team was the contrarian side. Nobody wants them. But hey, the contrarian gods going with Charlotte here tonight, plus the 6 points. There is one on an ugly card. There is one potential great matchup here tonight. A featured one we'll break down for you as, boy, oh boy, Dallas, who has done an amazing job of, well, handling their business against Phoenix over the last year or so. What do they got now? 1.5 is what Phoenix is at home, as a small favorite. That total is 221.5 there, Marco. The 10 o'clock Eastern time tip here on the late slate of games. Oh, boy, can Doncic do it again here? Can he just manhandle this Phoenix Suns team?
Well, Joe, how do you want me to handle this? Because this is our premier game of the night, and it's also going to be my best bet of the night.
Ooh.
But a little birdie told me right before we went on air, we might have a little rough and rumble, rowdy death match here, because somebody else on the show is going to go opposite me. So what do you want me to do? You want me to tease what my play is here?
You just teased it up. No, that's good. Leave it at that. Just leave it at that. We'll move back to that over there. Mr. Kabang, Mr. UCapperSportsMemo.com. They ain't Charlotte, but, Dallas has handled their business against Phoenix here. So what do you think?
Yeah, this one's tough on the side here, so I won't be able to back either Dwayne or Marco, but I'll talk about the total. I do like the over in this one. When I'm looking at the Mavs, they haven't been playing really strong defense lately. In the last 10 games, they're only 29th in the league in defensive rating. For the most part, when I'm looking at some of these trends too, some of them are pointing towards fading the Mavericks in this spot. They are 1-9 straight up, 3-7 ATS as road dogs, but they're 7-3 to the over, and that's what I wanted to really focus in on. They're averaging 111.4 points per game. They're allowing 122.4. A bad spot for them here. But if you look at the Suns side, they're finally starting to put some offense together without Booker. The main thing is that their defense, I feel like, has been looking a little bit better than they are in the last 4 games. They played 3 games here against opponents who are shorthanded, missing a few key guys. So to me, they haven't been playing the best of their opponents, and that's why their defense is looking a little bit better. I think both teams go over tonight, over that total. I think it's a low total too, 220 something.
Yep.
So yeah, the only way that I could look is towards the over here. I think the Mavs bounce back offensively. The Suns picking it up on the offensive side. They take a little step down on the defensive side.
Not a whole lot of movement in the total at all. 221.5, 222. It's been there all day. Dwayne, the fact that you're making your appearance on the NBA show and throwing haymakers at Marco, you got carte blanche, dude. You can come back anytime you want here. But hold off on the best bet for the side and tell me, are you in agreement? Do you think maybe the total's a little bit too low in this spot as well?
That's actually the play. I have a play on the total in this game. That's the one that I have up right now over at WagerTalk.com. So
in that case, get your ass over to WagerTalk.com and get his total play over there is what you need to do. That's right. You can see that. Marco there hasn't lost in 6 years. Dwayne's got a total play he's going to nail, and he's going to go head-to-head against Marco with the best bet. And Ronald Cabang doing his best Switzerland job I've ever seen by not even getting in on the side. He's like, oh, there you go, Mr. Switzerland in the house. Outstanding. He's like, hell no, I ain't getting involved in that. All right. Well, then we're going to focus on a total here, guys, in our overtime segment. And, this is a game, it shouldn't be a shock, is it really here? As we've got maybe the highest total on the board tonight. No shocker there. But it hasn't jumped like what we have seen some of these totals do at this time of the day. 234 is the open with the Clippers and the Spurs. It is beginning to inch up here a little bit. That shouldn't surprise anybody. Spurs didn't move last night, staying there at the Crypto Arena. Lakers last night, Clippers tonight here. Marco, is there any value here backing over or under with these two teams?
Well, I am going to lean to the over in this one. And I will give a disclaimer and say, as good as a year as I've had in the NBA this year, the Clippers have been the one team that just is the thorn in my side. Whether I go with them and all of a sudden nobody plays, or I go against them, or everybody that is playing decides to play out of their mind, they have been my Achilles heel. But I am going to look at the over in this one. And quick, people remember what they just saw. And they saw last night the Lakers and the Spurs play a low-scoring game, 113 to 104. And now you're looking at a total of 234, 234 and a half. How in the world is this thing going to get up and over that number? I think it does. The Clippers, even though San Antonio didn't have to leave, they're playing in the same building. Hopefully they stayed and practiced their shots afterwards, because they only shot 37% from the field yesterday. I think the Clippers are going to try to go a little up-tempo and, force the issue with San Antonio. And the Spurs, let's just write last night off to one of those bad nights shooting, because the prior two nights they shot 52% and 57%, putting up 127 and 126. And that 126 was against the Clippers back in San Antonio. So let's look for this one to go over the total. San Antonio on the road this year, 22 games, about 14-8 to the over. And here's a stat that's league-wide. Play the over in games involving a team playing back-to-back days that has a win percentage of 40% or less when facing a team with a winning record. Simple league-wide stat. If you followed that, last 5 years, the over has gone 96 and 46.
Damn.
I'm going to go ahead and lean to the over.
Yeah, well, you got a quality team taking on a crap team over there in this spot here, and no defense, not a shock. Dwayne, how about you? Are you in agreement that maybe we're gonna get up and over here tonight, or do you think maybe the Clippers, who, by the way, Kennard, I think, is back tonight in this lineup, so it looks like they'll be at full strength. Do you think maybe they slow it down and go under here?
Before I even got sent the list of games, I was hoping this was not going to be the total game for this show. Of course it is, so, apparently I'm going to disagree with Marco on everything right now.
No. Hold on. Let me pull up a chair. Let me get that popcorn.
Right now.
Yep. Go ahead.
He's not in the NBA right now. So just fade me and just ride with Marco and you'll do just fine. I just don't, if I'm going to, and I'm not betting this, but if I were going to bet this, I would rather lose betting an under on a Clipper home game than lose betting an over on a Clipper home game, because they've gone under in 20 out of 24 home games. And any way you slice it, they're like 3-13 to the under as a home favorite, 1-8, to the under as a home favorite against non-division conference opponents, going under by 12 points a game. 0-9 over under at home off a road game this season, going under by 13.8 points a game. They've only had one home game this season that's had a total in the 230s, and it was against Atlanta, and the game went under by 13.5 points. So, I get it. This line's high for a reason. The Spurs are dead last in defensive efficiency. But like I said, I'm not betting this, but if I was gonna, I'd rather lose on a Clipper under at home than trying to buck that 4-20 and trying to bet the over here. So, but again, Marco's the hot one, so just ride his play. You'll do all right.
So, Kabang, I can't wait to see you try and ride Switzerland on this one here, man. Let's see. We got Marco leaning to the over. We got Dwayne leaning to the under. You guess who the tying vote is, my man? Which way are you looking at this game tonight?
So with this being the overtime game, I'm actually going to go with Marco on this one. I know a lot of the things that Dwayne said was pointing towards the under, right? A lot of the Clippers game, 19-4-1 to the under at home, just blindly telling them on the under, best under team at home this season. But for the most part, I don't expect that to happen all season long. If you look at the Spurs here, they're one of the worst defense. I think maybe the worst defensive rated team in the league. Clippers, the last 10 games, they're in the bottom 10 in defensive rating themselves and pace wise. If you look at the Spurs, they're top 3 in pace the last 10 games. So if you put that all together, no defense, high pace, you would expect an over game here. Even with all the trends pointing towards the Clippers under, it's one of those things. I think Marco mentioned it, right? You look at a team with a winning record versus a team with a losing record. There's no motivation to play defense in that spot. I feel like the Clippers are just going to come in, try to outscore the Spurs team. They also have a really tough road trip ahead on the Eastern Conference. 5 games on the Eastern Conference in the next couple of weeks here, next week or week and a half to 2 weeks. So this could be a situation where they just expend all their energy on the offense, not play too much defense here. They know they could beat this team. They're just going to try to outscore them. That's the way that I would go here, is towards the over.
All right, leaning towards the over. It's an intriguing matchup, guys, in that late game here tonight for sure. But it is a lighter card here, not the full complement of games, but there are plenty of dogs that may be barking here, Robert.
That's my dog. That's my dog. That's my dog. That's my dog. And anybody got to say anything, you let me know. That's my dog.
This should be fun, as we've got a few dogs here tonight may be interested in. Charlotte, we talked about. How about the New York Knicks? They find themselves as a dog. Detroit, Houston, shocker, Dallas, and, of course, the San Antonio Spurs. So, intriguing, Marco, but is there one dog here that might be barking for you tonight?
Well, Joe, yeah, there is a dog. And Joe, you may have heard, I do this show with a lovely Kelly and some clown guy that's always laughing.
Never heard of it.
And there's a segment where I have the sandwich game.
Yes.
And there's a sandwich tonight in the NBA. Ooh. And so if I got a team getting points while the other team's in the middle of eating a damn big sandwich, you know what I'm going to do. Mm-hmm. I'm taking Detroit tonight plus the points against Brooklyn. And that sandwich that we're talking about, you've got Brooklyn played last night, which was the final game of a 5-game road trip. They went and played Philadelphia, a division rival, and they played a barn burner, 137 to 133. Now they return home looking to bounce back. I always like to fade these teams returning home, looking to bounce back. That's a spot I like. Then throw in the fact that it was a good-looking loss. You got a team that scored 133 points, lose 137 to 133. Can you look any better in losing than they did last night? Now they just got to bounce back against a Detroit Piston team that, what did they do the last time? They let Milwaukee score 150 points against them. Yeah, everybody's going to jump on Brooklyn. And where's that sandwich I'm talking about? Well, you're coming off Philly on the top end, and their next game, they play New York. A little bit of a rival. They battle for the market there in New York. Let's go ahead, take Detroit plus the points here, and I'll go ahead and give you another league-wide NBA stat. Road teams who are revenging a same-season loss and are coming off a home loss of 20 points or more, blindly playing those teams in the NBA the last 5 years, 40-15 against the spread.
Wow. All right. Great stuff there with the Pistons tonight taking on the Brooklyn Nets. And as Marco said, sandwich spots. The deli is absolutely open. Dwayne, how about you, man? I mean, not a huge selection, but is there a dog that might be barking for you tonight?
I don't know if it's barking. It might be yipping a little bit, but I'll take a shot here with the Knicks plus the 8.5. They've got revenge here for a 15-point home loss back on November 5th. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean anything. How have they done in that spot this year? Well, they're 3-1 against the spread as a road dog when they're seeking revenge for a same-season loss. On the other side, Boston has dropped 4 in a row against the spread, and I'm not a guy that likes to buck streaks. You're never going to make a lot of money trying to predict when a streak is going to end. And I looked it up, good old SDQL database, teams that are on an exact 0-4 ATS streak that are a home favorite. It's a losing proposition. Since last season alone, it's gone 19-12 straight up, but 11-20 against the spread. That's 35.5%. So I'll give the revenge-minded Knicks a shot to cover the number here.
All right, laying with the Knicks here tonight. Marcus Smart out once again for the Celtics here. Other than that, nothing crazy on the injury reports thus far. How about you there? Talk to us. You, Capper, Ronald Cabang at sportsmemo.com. Which one of these dogs might be barking for you tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I think we just talked about this game here, but I'm gonna look towards the Spurs here to cover that 13. That I know it's a big number here, but I think for that reason, that's why it's the best way to go. They got a lot of extra value here on the line, in my opinion. If you look at some of the trends that I've been looking at here, the Clippers 2-7 straight up, 1-8 ATS at home following a road game. If you look at them facing teams as double-digit favorites, they're not doing well in that spot either. Spurs as double-digit dogs, they've covered 4 straight in that spot here. Also, that look ahead to this 5-game Eastern Conference road trip, I think they won't be totally focused here. They're not going to use that energy on the defensive side of the ball. I think the Spurs show up here offensively and just run with these guys. So I think they can stick within 13 in my book. If we look at just from a holistic level in the NBA this season, teams with a winning record versus teams with a losing record that are on the second of back-to-back games, they failed to cover in 60%, 70% of the games.
Wow.
13, 30, and 2 ATS. So that says to fade the Clippers here.
All right, well, taking the points. You're going to give me 2 touchdowns. We'll take it. And, Robert, let's let the record show nobody took Houston as a barking dog here. It's a little disgusted with all of them here. Let's see. Maybe they have them in the best bets, Robert. Let's see. All right. You guys know how it works. We throw 60 seconds on the clock. Do whatever the hell you want with that 60 seconds. Just make sure you drop us a best bet on the card tonight. Wait, hold on. Ronald, you got your popcorn ready? Because this should be some fun right now here. As a matter of fact, let me get you out of the way, Ron. Why don't you start us off here and talk to me? Tell me, where is the best bet for you?
Yeah, I'm going to be looking at this, the Bulls and the Hornets game. I like the under in this one. Bulls tend to struggle on the road. We talked about that a little bit earlier. More so when they're on the road following a loss. They're actually 6-0 to the under in that spot, averaging just 106.7 per game, allowing 108.7. We see that total tonight, 234.5. That's a huge gap there. If you look at them as road favorites versus conference opponents too, they're only averaging about 105 points per game. On the other side, the Hornets struggling offensively with or without LaMelo. I like the under today. He'll be hobbled if he does play. So their offensive efficiency will still be taking a hit. Bulls defensively, 4th in defensive rating last 10 games. Hornets, 21st in offensive rating. Give me this under in this Bulls and Hornets game tonight. Also, shout out to Sports Memo every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. The NBA triple-double with myself and Moneyline Matt. Check it out.
Nice. Well done, man. You even left a few seconds on the clock there. All right, now you get your popcorn because now it's about to get fun. By the way, under is what he's looking at right now. 234.5 is what we're seeing here with those Hornets and Bulls here tonight. Dwayne, first time on the show, man. Love that you're coming out here throwing haymakers. So set us up here for what your best bet is in 60 seconds, man. It's all yours.
All right, well, I'm looking at the Suns here laying the 1.5. Just looking at the basics here, we got 2 teams going in opposite directions. Dallas is 1-5 straight up in ATS in their last 6. Phoenix is 1 and covered 4 in a row. And again, Dallas 8-15 on the road. Phoenix 18-7 at home. Phoenix playing with revenge here for a 19-point loss at Dallas. They're 2-1 straight up and against the spread. Seeking revenge for a same season double-digit loss this season. The 2 wins came against Memphis, so not a shabby team there. Phoenix is also 6-1 straight up at home against Dallas during the regular season. The last 7 meetings in Phoenix, including 6 straight wins. I believe Ronald mentioned it when we talked about this game earlier for the Dallas side. 1-9 straight up, 3-7 against the spread as a road dog. And both teams are above 500. And this season, when you've got both teams above 500 and the home team is favored by less than 3, they've cashed 69%. Take Phoenix.
Ooh. Damn, Robert couldn't even get the buzzer off. He finished. Well done there. Nice job, Dwayne. So we got a vote for Phoenix here, and that leaves, Marco. All right, Marco, you didn't take Houston as your dog, so I can't promise this clock will run fast, but hey, tell us where you're rolling tonight for a best bet.
Okay, guys. Well, I'm going to go opposite Dwayne. In that show I referenced earlier, I talked about trap games. Well, this would be a trap game for me.
Ooh.
Is everything that Dwayne said about how good Phoenix is and how bad Dallas is, he's correct. All that leading into this game. So why is the line only 1.5? Pick the winner. That just looks way too easy to me. I look at that 4-game winning streak of Phoenix and look at it. They beat Brooklyn without Durant. Then they beat Indiana and Charlotte. So what? Those are 2 trash teams. And then they beat Memphis. That was an impressive win, but they caught Memphis the game after they played the Lakers in a 1-point loss. I am going with Dallas tonight, and they are in their best situation when they are on the road off of an upset loss as a favorite. The last 3 years, 17-4 against the spread. I'm going Dallas.
Oh, boy. Woo! See, when everyone disagrees, you guys watching, the ball's in your court now. Figure it out. All right, one more time. Let's break it down as best bet recap. We've got Marco. His dog tonight is going to be Detroit, taking on those Brooklyn Nets, 8.5. His best bet, you just heard him, guys. He's back in Dallas. Give him the road dog in that 1.5. Dwayne, he's going to be looking at the Knicks tonight as a barking dog, also getting that 8.5. His best bet is going to be opposite. He's going to go Phoenix, laying that 1.5 at home tonight. Ronald Kabang, total Switzerland job the entire show. Fantastic, by the way, but he's still going with the San Antonio Spurs as his dog. Thinks the 2 touchdowns are way too much there. Oh, yeah, his best bet is going to be the under in that Chicago-Charlotte game. The contrarian gods, they're going to take the 6 points here tonight at home, taking on the Chicago Bulls. And as a reminder, guys, if you head over to WagerTalk.com, you heard both Marco and Dwayne talk about they are locked and loaded, ready to roll here tonight. NBA, college hoops, ready to go. And, of course, NFL coming up this weekend. You can hop over to their pages right now and grab those best bets. Marco on a 9-0 run right now, ready to go. Dwayne has been crushing it in college basketball. Go pick up those best bets over at WagerTalk.com. And Mr. Kabang, UCapper over at SportsMemo.com. His card tonight, ready to go, locked and loaded. All you have to do is visit his page over at SportsMemo.com and make sure you check him out. Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, triple-double over on the Sports Memo YouTube channel, as well as you can catch it here on the Wager Talk channel as well. That'll do it, gentlemen. Outstanding job here. The good news is plenty more NBA action coming up again tomorrow as we get ready to head into the weekend. Certainly hope you will come back and join us then. Until that, of course, on behalf of Marco, Dwayne Bryant, and UCapper, Mr. Ronald Kabang, we appreciate the time, guys. Best of luck with all your plays tonight. Come back and join us again tomorrow. We'll do it all over. Good luck.
Ready to take your favorite WagerTalk handicappers wherever you travel this football season? The WagerTalk TV app is now live for phones, tablets, smart TVs, and streaming platforms. Tune into your favorite shows like WagerTalk Today, Bet on It, and the Opening Line Report. Plus, browse through our extensive library of sports betting tips. Create your personal playlist of betting tip videos to help you prepare for the upcoming season and set notifications to alert you when new content is added. Download the app for Apple, Android, Amazon, and Roku devices by searching for WagerTalk TV or scan the QR code on your screen to join the winning conversation today.